And good afternoon, good evening, viewers. This is the Roundup News with me, Elvis Othiambo, and our sign language interpreter doing the voicing, Wanjangede. President William Ruto has criticized Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka for what he described as undermining his development project, particularly the recent business capital project for youth known as NYOTA. Ruto, who led the event to distribute the capital to youth from Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Nyandarua counties at the Kabiru-ini grounds in Nyeri, challenged Kalonzo to explain to the youth what he achieved for them during his tenure as vice president. The president continued to defend his government's policies and projects, citing them as being at the forefront of guaranteeing job opportunities for the youth both locally and abroad.
Jamaa 40 years. Wewe umetoa pesa ngapi kwa vijana wangapi in your 40 years? You know? And unajua kuna watu wanaishi in utopia. There are people who believe 50,000 is very small money. Yes, it is small money to you and maybe your children, but it is not small money to these people.
Hakuna pesa kidogo, hakuna pesa nyingi. Pesa ni vile utatunza mahali umepata msaada wa kuanzisha maisha yako. I want to encourage our young people to take whatever you're receiving today as the first step towards transforming your lives. It is possible to start small and grow big.
Wale ambao wanawaambia shilingi 20,000 haiwezi kufanyia chochote kwa biashara. I want you to show them that with the training that you have acquired, that it is possible not only to transform your own lives, but to become employers, industrialists, future captains of industry from that humble beginning of 22,000 shillings.
And the retired Chief Justice and presidential aspirant David Murang'a has condemned what he described as the government's failure to invest adequately in education, a situation he says he has contributed to poor academic performance among some students. Murang'a highlighted systemic challenges affecting the sector, including teacher shortages, lack of infrastructure, and dwindling government funding. Murang'a attributed the problems to corruption, weak government planning, and diversion of funds to debt payment instead of improving educational resources. He warned that without urgent reforms, the quality of education and student outcomes will continue to decline.
Great excellency, we must reject a system that produces massive failures and only a small elite that survives through the eye of the corruption needle. We have prepared evidence showing an abnormal grading curve that produces D's than C's expected in a healthy system. Education must not only be measured by grades alone, but by learning outcomes. Too many learners move through the system without acquiring critical thinking and life skills. A system obsessed with grades is an escapist and irrational one. The government speaks of digital literacy and Silicon Savannah, while only 48% of public junior schools have basic laboratories and many lack electricity.
And moving on, calls are mounting for the removal of minority leader Junet Mohammed amid internal disputes in ODM and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. 7 coalition parties want the position handed to opposition MPs. Critics say Junet ignores opposition issues, focusing instead on pleasing President William Ruto. They argue his leadership has sidelined key parliamentary concerns. Coalition members are urging former President Uhuru Kenyatta to convene a meeting of party leaders to plan for the 2027 elections.
Express our profound concern over the continued, reckless, and defamatory utterances by some Azimio la Umoja One Kenya officials, and especially one Honorable Junet Mohammed, which slander the name and legacy of the former President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We, as Azimio parties, place it on record, without ambiguity, that the former president served this nation with dignity, protecting Kenya's territorial integrity, upholding national cohesion, and shepherding a peaceful transition of power. Any attempt to diminish this record is both dishonest and an affront to the millions of Kenyans who lived through that stewardship. In light of these developments, we, as Azimio parties, hereby demand the immediate retirement of Honorable Junet Mohammed from all Azimio leadership positions.
And on to our next news, Education Secretary Julius Bitok has inspected how Form 1 students are being admitted in various schools across Nairobi. His visit included a tour of Alliance Boys High School, where he observed admission procedures firsthand. Professor Bitok praised many schools for welcoming students well and urged all education stakeholders to integrate the new intake effectively. He emphasized the importance of ensuring a smooth transition for students entering the secondary education. He added that there is room to accommodate every Form 1 student nationwide and noted that the number of admissions is expected to increase. The secretary, who indicated that the admission period could be extended to allow more students to be placed in schools. On to our next news. Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, has seized a consignment over 9.3 million sticks of contraband cigarettes with an estimated market value of 281.1 million Kenya shillings at the port of Mombasa. According to KRA, the operation followed intelligence-led investigations and prompted the authority to convene a multi-agency verification team. That's all for the news roundup. Thank you for watching the Roundup News with me, Elvis Othiambo, and our sign language interpreter, Wanjangede. Enjoy your evening and goodbye.